We CapGod again? You know what? No, I don't think we're in CapGod territory just yet. For me personally, we're getting there. Like, for me personally, we're close to a CapGod territory again. So let's go down the list. Mega Man 11. Resident Evil 7 was good in its DLC. Was like free for the most part, which is a bonus. Street Fighter V AE made everybody happy. Like, a ton of people that have been waiting for Street Fighter stuff, they're super happy with that, so that's a big one. Devil May Cry 5 has been announced / not announced. Most likely is going to be announced like next year. So if that happens, that's also pretty goddamn big. Street Fighter 30th Collector's Edition with like 12 different Street Fighter games on it. It's like, it's one of the best games in Capcom's goddamn library. If it's good. All these games like could be bad. Resident Evil Remake 2, it could be awful, but that's a big CapGod type moment. And then the last one, so that's like six fucking things. Oh, the 7th thing, Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is fucking awesome. Oh, DMC HD collection, thank you for that. So that we're on like 8 things that Capcom is getting right. Like they are nailing this shit. The 9th one would be Marvel Infinite for me. And if they nailed Marvel Infinite, if MVCI started getting proper updates and they started addressing the things that the fans and all the players have issues with in terms of its presentation, while adding characters and more costumes, if they just announce that they're gonna do that shit, that's getting pretty goddamn close back to CapGod territory for me, dude. Pretty close. Yeah, maybe the Mega Man X collection's happening again. So that's all I'm saying is that there's like 9 things, and the 9th one being Marvel Infinite is like a big one. And if that happens, then Capcom is right. They're on a pretty fucking sweet path to making everyone happy. It's really weird to feel like, man, Capcom is making some really sick shit. Wow, this is crazy. Like, look at all these cool Capcom games. That feels weird. It's been like a decade, chat room. It's been a long fucking time. It's been like 7 years since they've started making like good decisions. And unfortunately, the last 3 big fighting games that they put out, even 4 big fighting games they have put out, have kind of tanked. With Ultimate Marvel 3 not doing great sales-wise, but making the fans happy at least. Cross Tekken being in the state it's in, Street Fighter V being in the state it's in, and then Marvel Infinite being in the state it's in. So the last 4 big fighting games have been fucked up in some way or the other. Marvel 3 Ultimate came out like 8 months after their first game did, so people were pissed about that. Cross Tekken, well, started the goddamn Capcom, and then Street Fighter V obvious problems, and then Marvel Infinite obvious problems. Like, if this is the road that it's gonna take for them to get back to make shit good again, then that's... Unless something is really bad with all those games, like not good and fucked us over, then... Oh my god, it won't be good. But right now, like, the path ahead of us looks pretty goddamn awesome for Capcom. And I really hope Marvel Infinite's in there. I really do. I definitely don't want them to give up on this game, and I don't think they should. Because everything I've heard about the game is that it's being developed as a platform. Like, all this esports horseshit you're hearing about, like all these people saying Marvel is dead, these are people talking to the esports division of Capcom, which has very little to do with the game's development. Like, as I don't care how many people fill the seats of a goddamn top 8. I don't care how expensive the payout is. I don't care how big the glove is or how many entrants there are. That's great for those communities, and as long as people have people to play, that's awesome. that is not what I care about. All I care about, are we going to get more characters? Are we going to get future updates? Are we going to get new stages? Are you going to fix the UI? Are you going to make the roster awesome? That's all I care about. That's all I think a lot of people are waiting for to care about. That's what's most important. If all that shit starts happening to MVCI, then guess what? People are going to show to tournaments, the pot's going to get bigger, but it just naturally expands. It just naturally expands. Now, I'm not even talking about what Mr. Wizard said. I'm talking about, like if you're planning on making money off getting top 8s in tournaments for future Marvel vs. Capcom official esports things, probably not going to happen after all this. It's probably not going to happen. There's a good chance they're just going to focus on Street Fighter V. So, yeah, that's probably dead. But if they start adding all the other shit to the game and actually fixing the game, then all that stuff can be back. Maxine's pretty mad at esports. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. You know that one video Mike made where he was they were promoting their esports shirt on Cross Counter? Baldgraph, thank you, dude. Where he had this big speech on that Cross Counter video, and Mike was like talking about esports and things like that. I agree with a lot of that. I agree with a lot of that. Like when it comes to like the big ass esports side of the FGC and all that stuff, like I'm just gonna focus on the games. Like I personally just want to focus on the games because that's what I enjoy the most, and it reminds me of the arcades back in the day. So my entire focus is just to emulate an arcade experience. Emulate the arcade experience. It's going to be really hard to get me interested about esports. I'll check out a tournament here and there, but man, I just want very little to do with it. Like the esports guys are there to build something around the foundation, and the foundation was fucked. Marvel Infinite Foundation was fucked. It was a leaky boat and a goddamn rainstorm. Of course it didn't work out. And guess what? Street Fighter V has only been recently kind of working out because it took them like 2 fucking years. It took them 2 years of making Street Fighter V esports be a thing where people aren't all pissed off about it anymore. So, esports seem pretty important to Capcom fighters though. Yeah, for Street Fighter. I mean, it was obvious that Marvel Infinite was the black sheep. It had its own, it had a completely separate Twitch channel where all their broadcast viewership audience would no longer have any idea where the hell it is. Like, it was obvious that the foundation for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite esports was rocky from the very start. That start was the game being in a horrible state at launch. Terrible state at launch. Can't make an esport around something that everyone's pissed off at. So that's my 2 cents on this whole situation. I'm actually not too worried about the future of Marvel Infinite. I think the game is going to get continual updates, and I think they're going to try to Street Fighter V it. I'm just waiting till that gets announced. I'm very much looking forward to that. And do I anticipate that the future of esports for the game is down the gutter? Probably. And that sucks for a lot of the guys that are really into Marvel and are really into the esports side of Marvel and wanted to make that a thing, but the game came out in a horrible state. Fucking, it was rough, man. People were pissed. Motherfuckers were pissed. Because I really feel you start throwing some X-Men, you throw in Wesker, you throw in Phoenix Wright, Beautiful Joe, just start throwing in all those fucking, throw them in there. Make them free. I am still on the firm ground belief that you take 6 popular characters from Marvel 3 that were already in the game and do the same thing, like dump them into the game and remake their assets and change some moves and shit, redesign them for the game. Make those 6 characters fucking free. Make them, just give them to people. Thank you for supporting our game. Those characters are free. Here's the other brand new characters that are going to be available in the coming months that you have to pay for. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And those new characters would be X-Men, Doctor Doom, like all that. Bring them back. Fucking start bringing them back. That's what everyone's waiting for. That's what everyone's actually waiting for with that game. Capcom and free don't mix. Well, it should. Really should. Depends on how much they want to get people on their side. You know, it really depends on how much. Yeah, everyone's saying that's never gonna happen because that's what they should do, right? Like, let's be honest. Let's be honest. People are like, that shit's never gonna happen because that's what they should be doing. They should absolutely be adding a bunch of characters from the previous game for free and then offering other DLC characters that are new characters, while still adding costumes and adding stages and updating the UI and shit. It's exactly what they should be doing to get everyone back on their side. And then by the time, you know, by the time all that shit has happened, and then there's even more DLC in the future, you repackage the game and sell it like an arcade edition style thing. Marvel vs. Capcom Unlimited, you know, I'm going in because I give a shit, you know? I'm going in because I give a shit. It's my favorite fighting game series of all time. The game is fantastic. It is possible to be fixed. If the gameplay was terrible, if the gameplay was in like a level of like Cross Tekken, which was really rough at the start, and then they just try to like tweak it and fix it and make it better, but it's still Cross Tekken at its core, no one adopted. Like everyone was like, no, like we don't like playing this game like that. And that was a problem for Cross Tekken, is that playing the game just felt really fucking clunky compared to a lot of other Capcom fighting games. So the hardest part of Marvel Infinite's already taken care of. The basis of the game, which is the goddamn gameplay, is intact and it's fun as fuck, which is good. That's like the hardest part. You don't have to redesign the whole game. Oh. Yeah, anyway. That's how I feel, although I could be wrong.